Coming up in the morning edition, the Bahamas signs MOU with the U.S. for the restart of a scholarship program, new presents for a new baby, and let's take a walk down the road to Fashion Week. Any day above ground is a good day. Welcome to the morning edition. I'm LaDawn Davis. Thanks for waking up with us. Let's turn things over to Basil Dean, who is standing by with the middle of the week's weather report. Good morning, Basil.
Good morning, LaDawn. A very wet Wednesday bout in the northwest and central Bahamas. We'll explain all of that in a short while. But first of all, let's take a look at our ZNS tower cam, which is showing overcast skies over the eastern portion of the Providence. And as we go to our satellite picture, you can see lots of the west stuff spreading all the way down into the central Bahamas. Some of it will reach the southeast Bahamas later on today as a cold front presently over central Florida will make its entry into the northwest Bahamas late this afternoon. Outside of our studios, we have cloudy skies, temperature at 73 degrees, relative humidity very rich at 94%, southwest winds at 7 miles per hour, the barometric pressure 1,014.6 millibars, that's 29.97 inches, and it is steady. Temperatures around the islands this morning, we're picking up 79s in Marsh Harbour, Abaco, also Greentown, Key, and Freeport in Grand Bahama. In the Berry Islands, 81 also in Alistown, Bimini, Harbor Island, 81, Roxanne, Eleuthera, Artistown, Cat Island at 80 degrees, 80 in Staniel Key, Kemps Bay, St. Andros, and Fresh Creek in Central Andros. More 80s showing up in San Salvador and Rum Key as we take you further south into Ragged Island. The 80s continues. Clarencetown, Long Island, 80 degrees. Crooked Island, 80, 79 in Betsy Bay, Maguana, Acklands, Matchetown, and Agua at 81 degrees, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 81 degrees. Your boating forecast for today in the northwest and central islands, west to northwest winds at 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet. Low tide will take place at 10:49 this morning, high tide at 5:05 this afternoon. For the southeast Bahamas, light and variable winds with very flat seas. LaDawn?
Thanks a lot, Basil. And now here's the Bahamas' first traffic report with Jimonita Swain, Ashley Whitney, and the traffic drone.
The traffic report is sponsored by Bahamas First. First in insurance, today, tomorrow.
Good morning, LaDawn, and good morning, Bahamas. We're coming to you live from Bay Street. As you can see from our drone shot, we're just between Frederick and Charlotte Street, that is, and it's definitely a wet Wednesday here. Traffic has been a steady flow throughout the city center, but just to find out what exactly you're up for as you make your morning commute, we now turn to Sergeant Jerome Thompson of the Police Traffic Division. Good morning, Sergeant Thompson.
Good morning to you. Good morning, Bahamas.
Now, are there any areas of concern that motorists need to be mindful of as they make their morning commute?
There are no areas of concern at this time. Traffic is moving about freely. The only concern now is the weather, because, during the wet weather, traffic tends to dry.
Definitely there are areas that are bottlenecks, and also with it being wet and rainy, you don't want persons to even just splash pedestrians as they try to make their way across streets, because they're using the roadways as well.
Yes, that's something that we would normally discourage persons not to splash pedestrians, and even splash other motorists that might be traveling in the opposite direction. That can cause a hazard, so we like to continue to discourage persons not to do that.
And in addition to that, obviously, speed and wet roads definitely don't make a great combination.
Yes, speed, wet roads, and also tire conditions. You need to make sure that your tires are in superb condition, not tires that are patched or tires that may be plugged. You need adequate tires to traverse these streets of the Bahamas.
Well, thank you so much. That is, of course, Sergeant Jerome Thompson. Wet streets out there today, so make sure to be safe. Give yourself enough time so you don't have to speed, and make sure to buckle up. Back to you in Studio LaDawn.
Thanks a lot, Jimonita. Now on to our top story this morning. Bahamians pursuing a master's or PhD degree can now benefit from the newly relaunched Fulbright Scholarship. The scholarship program, the prestigious fully funded program, supports the students of the Bahamas pursuing the PhD in the United States. Education Minister, the Honorable Jeffrey Lloyd, and Deputy Assistant Secretary for Academic Programs at the United States Department of State, Caroline Casagrande, signed a memorandum of understanding Tuesday, signaling the relaunch of the Scholars Program. The Education Minister noted that the program was suspended for more than 20 years.
Is the most prestigious scholarship opportunity for our young people. And it has the great benefit of taking our students beyond the initial tertiary educational level, that is the bachelor's, all the way into their research fields, masters as well as PhDs. And you would not know that this has been 23-year hiatus, as it were. Over 23 years since we have had a Fulbright scholar coming from the Bahamas. So it's very, very, very momentous today.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honorable Peter Turnquest, is defending the shortfall in government's projected 2.2% increase in the country's gross domestic product following criticism from Progressive Liberal Party Deputy Leader Chester Cooper. The Department of Statistics revealed that the GDP has increased by 1.6%, falling 0.6% short of what government had anticipated. The PLP Deputy Leader says government should explain why it was not able to meet those figures, despite record tourist numbers, the opening of Baha Mar, and not having to battle any major economic shocks like hurricanes. Cooper also suggested that the opening of Baha Mar and record tourist arrivals that he says the government had nothing to do with help the economy. Turnquest had this response.
He's right. If it wasn't for the upturn in tourism, that our GDP growth would not have advanced as well as it has. But that is the structure and the makeup of our economy. We are predominantly driven by tourism, 80% of our economy, and so it's a kind of a strange statement to make.
In light of the recent murders at Potter's Key Dock and White's Addition off Camp Road, officials from the Male Division of the Gender and Family Affairs Division are beefing up their efforts to save our young men from a life of crime through their mentorship programs. Program Manager for Male Services and Training at the Department of Gender and Family Affairs, Henry Johnson.
This month, we're looking at bringing in a facilitator who is aligned with UN Women as well as with the Caribbean stakeholders. He's the chairman of Caraman, and he's a member of the Men Engage International. We're bringing him over to have a workshop on perpetrators, violence, and intervention to help deal with our plaguing, vexing problem of men on men and men just perpetrating the country in a bad light, which is sending a bad message.
The Prince Hall Affiliate Order here in the Bahamas is currently hosting the Grand Masters Conference here in the capital. This conference is set to bring in hundreds of Masons to our shores. Here to give us details about this conference are Grand Master of Masons, the Honorable Leslie Dean, and past Grand Master Brother Edison James. Gentlemen, welcome to the Morning Edition.
Welcome, good morning.
So talk to us a little bit about what is the Grand Masters Conference and what is it actually all about?
It's a coming together of grandmasters from 47 different jurisdictions throughout the United States, the Bahamas, the Caribbean, Liberia, and Canada. We come together once annually to share our ideas or experiences that we're having in our various jurisdictions.
And the Honorable Leslie Dean, is this just for, I guess, Prince Halls, or is this for other invited guests?
It is Prince Hall Freemasons.
And who is actually expected to attend this grand event?
All of the grandmasters. We have an executive team. The president of the conference is Most Worshipful Past Grandmaster Doreen Glover, and he have an executive team comprising of a vice president, executive secretary, and treasurer. And the grandmasters and past grandmasters, they will all be here along with their serving current officers.
And Brother James, talk to me a little bit about your take on this special conference.
Well, this is the 100th year of this conference, and so it's a privilege for the Bahamas to have the opportunity to host the conference, because 1,000 years from now, history would have it recorded that it was held here in the Bahamas. Not only that, is the economic effect of this conference here. We have over 500 persons in here, and more are coming in the next 2 days. And so the hotels, the restaurants, meter cabs, jet ski operators and restaurants, etc., all will feel some effect of this. And at the end of the day, we'll also make a significant contribution to the development of youth by making a special donation to a charitable organization.
And again, tell us where and when the actual conference will take place.
The conference actually begins today with a welcome reception for all of those delegates here. And then we have a number of activities beginning this morning with a special visit to the Governor General and to the House of Assembly. And of course, tomorrow, the Ministry of Tourism will sponsor another fantastic event, and the Prime Minister himself will be making the keynote address on Saturday evening at the banquet.
The Honorable Leslie Dean, what does this conference actually mean for the Bahamas?
It means a lot. It also helped to inspire the brothers here in the jurisdiction of the Bahamas, knowing that we have representatives throughout the continental United States and all the other countries where Prince Hall Freemasonry exists. But also, it reaffirms the relationship that we have fostered between the English Constitution, the Scottish, and the Irish Constitutions that operates here in the Bahamas and throughout the world.
Grand Master of the Masons, the Honorable Leslie Dean, and past Grand Master, Brother Edison James, thank you guys so much for joining us here on the Morning Edition, and best of luck on your conference.
Thank you very much for having us.
Fashion Week is a few months away, but our Jimenez Swain has all the details, that and more, straight ahead. The parents of two bouncing baby boys born on Mother's Day were showered with gifts this past Monday. While the mothers declined to be shown on camera, they graciously accepted gifts from the Bahamas' Mothers Club, who annually donate gifts to mothers on that special day, and the Rotary Club of East Nassau, who donated 22 car seats to the Princess Margaret Hospital.
This is a regular occasion every year where the first baby boy or girl is presented with a gift on behalf of the club. It is very important. It is to encourage the mother to train up the child in the way that he should go when he's old. He will not depart from it. And it's an encouragement to the mother to keep pressing on.
The donation is particularly special in May because Rotary International has 6 areas of focus, and May happens to be Maternal and Child Care Month. And in our Rotary clubs, we like to do things for our communities, and we thought this was a good idea for the ladies in the hospital who are, coming home with their babies and perhaps don't have a child's seat for them.
May is Lupus Awareness Month, and Grand Bahama is not going to be left out of the lupus testimonials. Our Shoshana Roll Farquharson from the Northern Service spoke with the Grand Bahamian living with lupus.
Kadisha Hall says living with lupus is hard. Since she was diagnosed some 11 years ago, her life has been changed. Her hands and fingers are now folded in, and her toes and feet are twisted. She says this disease has managed to take away not just some of the things she loved to do, but her independence as well.
I love doing craft. As you can see, my hands, they're my clothes. I can't do craft anymore. Walking about and stuff like that, I'm not able to do. Cook, clean, bathe myself. I have someone to bathe me, do stuff like that.
She also suffered a heart attack and was taking up to 20 pills a day. Additionally, Hall says she has been detained in the intensive care unit twice and suffered memory loss. Here is how she describes the dreaded disease lupus.
Horrible. Nightmare, horrible. A bad nightmare, what you wouldn't wake up to. But affect the kids. Even now, still, they don't really talk about it. Especially my baby, he doesn't talk about it. And even now, it has helped me a little emotional too. But like I said, I thank God because I've been through that door many times when I came through.
But she says her faith in God remains strong, even though she says this disease has not just taken an emotional and physical toll on her body, it has also become a major financial strain. While she receives some assistance from social services, Katisha says what she's really in need of is a place to call home.
It's really hard because the water just came on. It was off for like a whole week. So I had family and friends bringing water to bathe with, to brush your teeth, wash dishes, and stuff like that. So it was really hard.
Now, if you are able to assist Katisha in any way, even through words of encouragement, you can contact her at 814-8064.
Great story there, Shashina. It is one of the biggest fashion events that happens twice a year, New York Fashion Week, and Bahamian fashion designer Jillian Curry Williams of Ramilda Rose Designs will be amongst the designers whose fashion will grace the New York runway. For the next few weeks, Jimonita Swain will share Curry Williams' road to Fashion Week with all of us. She has about 4 months to prepare for the event, considered a designer's dream, and showcases a designer's fashion to the world.
Well, it's May, and I don't have the first sketch yet.
Jillian Curry Williams is a self-proclaimed lace girl. The designer and owner of Ramilda Rose Designs is preparing to head to New York Fashion Week come September.
I know how I work, and I know in my head, well, the first thing is I have 20 models they're providing, and I'm going to do 10 of the models in our Fabric of Hope, and then I'm going to do 10 in lace.
We caught up with Curry Williams at Commonwealth Fabrics recently, eyeing some lace that she could possibly use in her designs.
Spend $250,000 and all that. But each year I say, well, look, and I'd ask God when. And so I was actually in one of my sewing classes, the students were doing something, and I just was prompted to check my phone and saw that I had an email from someone from New York Fashion Week who had looked at my garments and all that and wanted me to fill out this application, and I did it. And 2 days later, I got an email that they wanted to do a phone conversation with me.
Following that interview, the deal was sealed and Curry Williams was invited to showcase her designs at Fashion Week.
I feel pressured because now you have to up the ante. You can't just do basic, you have to come up but still stick with your aesthetic, because I don't want to do anything that's not Ramilda Rose. So yeah, I'm nervous. I have designs going on in my head, and I'm like, should I do this, should I do that? But I think it's time for me to just put stuff to paper.
Now, while the Fabric of Hope will feature prominently, lace will also be used as well.
It would make a beautiful evening dress, something, fitted at the top, but I would just do the sleek trumpet, look. This looks like an Elizab. Yeah, like something he would use. So this is how I would do this, but this is beautiful. This would fall into the color palette. This would be perfect. I want each piece to be a showstopper, but there's going to be one in particular from the print, and then there's going to be one from the lace.
She will use feathers to create headpieces. The plan? To take Junkanoo to Fashion Week.
So when that Junkanoo music starts, I want them to move with that music, and just move. And this will, once they see this headpiece, they will know that the Bahamas is in the house.
Hopefully, the next time we chat with Curry Williams, she will have some sketches we can take a peep at. Jimonita Swain, ZNS Network News.
Good story there, Jimonita. It's that time of the year again when some very deserving primary school students are selected to stand out above the rest. Here to give us details on the competition and, of course, to talk about the Primary School Student of the Year Foundation is President and CEO Ricardo DeVoe and Vice President Valerie Dean. Lady, gentlemen, welcome to the Morning Edition.
Thank you for having us.
So, Mr. DeVoe, talk to us a little bit about the awards presentation and how many are vying for the prestigious award.
Well, the Bahamas Primary School Student of the Year Awards program for 2019 will feature 123 of the best and brightest primary school students from throughout the Bahamas. So it's not just New Providence, but we have all of our family islands will be represented this weekend.
And tell us about your foundation.
The Bahamas Primary School Student of the Year Awards program was created in 1997. We are governed by the Bahamas Primary School Student of the Year Foundation, and in partnership with the Nassau Bahamas Pan-Atlantic Council, this is to all of our fraternity and sororities civic duty. And so we have been putting this program since 1997.
And Ms. Dean, are you able to give me a little bit about some of the prizes expected for?
Our winner this year will be receiving a prize of $7,000. And this year we would have raised $118,000? $173,000. Wow, $173,000. That will, where 108 students will walk away with scholarships. But making sure that none of our students are left empty-handed. 15 students will be walking away with laptops. So we're looking forward to an exciting event on this coming Saturday.
And is this competition just for private schools, or is it private and public schools?
Oh, no, it's for the entire Bahamas, primary schools in the Family Islands, Nassau, private and public schools.
And tell us when and where will the actual awards
presentation? Well, first of all, on Thursday night at 6 p.m., the Governor General will present medals to all of the New Providence nominees, 52 of them. And on Friday night, the Governor General again will present medals to all of our Family Island nominees, 72. And then on Saturday night is the big night. And that is open to the general public. That's at Bahamas Faith Ministries at 6 p.m., where 123 of the best and brightest primary school students in the Bahamas will be recognized. As I said, we will give $173,000 in scholarships. We will present 15 students with scholarships. And one of the things that we're excited about, LaDawn, is that this year, after the awards program has ended, we would have presented $1.7 million worth of scholarships and prizes for primary school students in the country.
And hats off to you guys for that accomplishment. Ricardo and Valerie, best of luck on the Primary School Student of the Year, and thanks so much for joining us here on the Morning Edition.
Thank you
for having us.
Jonathan, what's coming up in sports?
Well, at dawn, we talk with one of our professional volleyball players, plus one champion crowned in the Junior Baseball League of Nassau. Welcome to sports, everybody. Pro volleyball player Byron Ferguson is back home. He spoke about his season and that unfortunate incident where fans spit on him and hurled racial slurs.
We played in the Cup Finals a few weeks ago. We lost to PAOK again, same as last year. So I don't want to say it's a success. It was the same as last year, but I'm happy with how I played, and I look forward to next year. I don't think it was situation with all of the Greek people. I just think that's a problem I had with one or two guys, and I would encourage anybody in any sport to go and follow their dreams and play professionally in whichever discipline. I feel like this is something that was meant for me to do. I've always been interested in volleyball, and it came pretty naturally to me, so it wasn't difficult for me to get started again.
It was win or go home last night in the Junior Baseball League of Nassau's Best of 3 championships at St. Andrew's Field of Dreams. In the 10 and under minor league division, the Astros brought out the brooms, completing the sweep against the Diamondbacks.
A sense of pride and achievement that we have come thus far over these last many months, and tonight we can say that we are victorious and we have done a tremendous job.
It was a long game, but these guys are troopers. They played hard all year long, so they're conditioned for 7 innings, and we gave it our best shot. We just came up a bit short tonight. I'm so proud of these guys. All year long, they came from last place to making the playoffs, so it's no shame here. These guys are going to hold their heads high, and next year we're going to be even better.
From the minor league baseball diamond last night, Jazz Chisholm continuing to sizzle for the Jackson Generals. He hit his 10th home run of the season, a 2-run shot in the 3rd inning. That was his only hit of the night in 5 plate appearances as Jackson edged Mobile 8-7. The Dayton Dragons also in the win column last night, 4-3 over Great Lakes. Shad Monroe 1 for 3, 2 runs scored. As for Lucius Fox, he went 0 for 2 in RBI as Montgomery put away Mississippi 3-1. The college baseball season winding down. The Xavier Musketeers, they fell on the road last night to Purdue 4-3. Aubrey Major finishing up 2 for 4 with the stolen base and a run scored. Flamingo finally able to close out their best of 5 semifinal series in the Brazilian Basketball League last night. They beat Botafogo 90-75 to take the series 3-1. David Nesbitt back in the starting lineup. He finished up with 12 points and 4 rebounds. Flamingo now on to the championship against Franca. Game 1 there is scheduled for Sunday. Jonquel Jones and the Connecticut Sun, they were back on the floor Tuesday for the second night in a row in WNBA preseason action. Jonquel posting a double-double, 10 points and 14 rebounds, but the Sun would fall to the Dallas Wings 71-67. They close out the preseason on Sunday against the same Liberty team they beat 166 on Monday night. Jacoby Bain with double duty yesterday at the Plantation Junior Tennis Championships in South Florida. In the second round of singles, he would knock off 14th seed American Bruno Kuzara in straight sets 6-4 and 4. Jacoby also teaming with American Brandon Schick for a come-from-behind win in the first round of doubles 4-6, 6-3, and 10-4. Sydney Clark also playing this week in Plantation. She wasn't as fortunate yesterday after losing in the first round of singles on Monday. She also went down in the opening round of doubles with Isabella Garces 6-3 and 7-6. And Team Bahamas off yesterday after winning their opener 7-4 over Antigua and Barbuda at the CONCACAF Beach Soccer Championships in Mexico. They play Bonaire today, who lost their opener 14-1 to the United States. And that will do it for sports. The morning edition continues after this.
And that's it for the morning edition this Wednesday. Join us tomorrow for another newscast. I'm LaDawn Davis. Have a great day, everyone.
I'll show you sights of interest. This is my country, like the water tower and the Queen's staircase. And maybe later we could go to my place. She was looking pretty and smiling with me, and I think my line is be guided.